Is it working? Are we here? Are you muted?
How about now?
There you go.
Yeah, so we've
God, we're
apparently
rusty at this.
well, definitely my computer decided that it was not having a good time.
All right. Well, as long as we're still live.
I believe that we are, but I
Okay.
don't see us here on my display.
Oh.
Yeah, so let's pop
Can, can
this
can
out
you hear
here.
us now?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Morehead says hi. We're good.
All right. Well, he can. So, can anybody see us? You can hear us, but can you see us? Is my big thing.
Does that make us John Cena?
I doubt it. All right. So, yeah, that's weird. Gotta love first time
Yeah.
technical stuff
Man, we
of
probably
the
should have done a
season.
practice run or something.
Well, everything looks good on the actual episode I'm seeing here on Facebook, so we're gonna roll with it.
All
All
right.
right, so it's just my computer, which that's fine. We can work through that. I'm all good with that. So welcome everybody into this cluster of a show so far. Episode 69 of Illiana Stock Car Radio, and what I am calling the Super Cup Special. So we got Eric Heddins over the Midwest Super Cup Series. He's coming on. And then the graduate of the Super Cups, Connor Kosowski, currently a Mid-Am Series competitor at the Grundy County Speedway. Chris, I always like when our guests volunteer.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite things because we know half the show is already written for us.
Yeah, which is great, and we kind of already talked to guys a little bit off air, and
Yeah, I think Eric did about half of his interview before we attempted to go live, and then your computer blew up.
yeah, it's something. It did not like something, and I have no preview of the stream here, so we're gonna wing this, but it's gonna be all right. I feel like we do our best work when we wing things. So,
Have we tried a different way yet?
no, not to my knowledge, but we're gonna try it anyways.
All
So
right.
So let's not beat around the bush here because who knows how long my computer will last. I'm bringing Eric Heddins, like I said, owner of the Midwest Super Cup Series. Eric, welcome into the broadcast.
Hello, gentlemen.
It's good to see you again now that everything's working.
Good to see you again, too.
Yes, good to see you. Although I can see you in just a little screen down there, so it's working. So Eric, welcome to the show. Thanks for volunteering. Like I said, makes it very easy when we have willing participants.
Is it a participation thing, or is it a like am I just willingly giving myself to the masses here?
Well, we're gonna find out. And it's like Morehead saying it's like a bad Japanese movie, and the lips and the voice are way off. So,
well,
yeah. Let's see. I really don't know how to fix that. Let's see.
That was good.
Sorry.
That was really good. Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I know, right? So we're gonna go on anyways, and if the live video is kind of messed up, you guys can catch us.
This is a good segue for the audio.
Yeah, you catch us on the audio only. It'll be posted later to Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we're working on getting a couple others, but it'll be up later in the recorded version. But anyways, let's not let this waste a good time. So Eric, Midwest Super Cup Series. I've talked about it on here multiple times. I love these things. So let's start first. How you got involved with the Super Cups?
Well, bottom line is my kid, Ashlyn, my daughter, wanted to go racing, so we went and found her a car and bought it, and the rest is history from there. And it's just gotten crazier, honestly. We went from one car to two, and from two to three, and then from three to, hey, I think we can build some of these parts or sell some of these parts or help people out. So we started Heddins Motorsports. And then in 2020, the former CSR series was starting to kind of tank out with low car turnout and that kind of thing. And there at the time, there was 3 series in the Midwest here. And I sat down with a couple of guys and said, there's no reason we can't bring them all together and race it, under the same rules and have a lot of fun. So that's what we did. That's how Midwest got started. We took 3 rules packages from 3 different series, and we went through them and kind of, got rid of some stuff, added a few other things. came up with a common ground rule package that would allow all these cars within the Midwest to run together, bringing up the car count and bringing up participation. So, it's so far, we got through our first year. The inaugural season was great. Crowned us the first champion with Landon Hocking. It was a great success, and we're looking forward to, the second year out here, and we start up in less than a month.
Yeah, like we're talking even just the first year of this kind of combined new series, social media following kind of blown up. It's 1,000 followers over in the last year. Let's see, 24 cars now looks like you guys are going to have this year. So definitely things blowing up for you guys.
Yeah, it with the merger for the Great Lakes Series, everything kind of took off, and we've been doing a lot of shows and a lot of promotion over the past 14, 16 months, and it seems to be paying off. We've got quite a few rookies starting out this year, the most we've ever had since I've been racing the Super Cups with my daughter. We haven't seen the rookie count that we got this year ever. So it's quite exciting. We've got a couple. We got a young girl starting out, Michaela. She's excited, and we're excited for her. 9 years old, just got her first car. And then we got Mike Impeller. He's going to be starting out with us this year. Another 9-year-old. Great kid. Met him at the drivers' meeting. Really looking forward to having him out there. We've got Summit Rossiter, another rookie for Super Cups, but he's coming out of a couple years of driving go-karts on the road courses. His family travels all over the place doing the go-kart stuff. So I know they just got back from Florida and North Carolina a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We got, and we've got some older rookies starting too. So, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, because definitely seems like in the series you have a broad spectrum of ranges. You got the young folks coming in. You have, say more seasoned drivers that just kind of looking to still stay in the seat and just have some fun and just kind of mess around a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm hoping this year to see some more of that. I'm hoping. You always wish for the best and take what you can get. But I really think we're going to have a good season. I think it's going to be competitive. Last year was unbelievably competitive as far as the Super Cups went. I mean, we had that one race, 2 cars that were less than 200ths of a second apart at the finish line. I mean, how do you go wrong? You're
right.
putting on a good show for the fans. The fans love it. The kids in the stands, they love it. You really can't go wrong. And
yeah.
Bottom line, I do it for these kids. That's what I'm doing it for. The future of racing. That's what it's been since day one for me, and that's what it'll be going forward. So,
yeah, I've seen a lot of kids down there by your show car you got at the end of the midway there at Grundy.
Yeah, I think that was the number one hotspot for selfies last year at Grundy County was that car.
I believe it.
And you know what?
If Jeremy knew it was down there, he'd go get one.
Yeah, to venture down that way.
It was a great idea to put that out there. Got the kids up close and personal with the actual size of the car. You'd had the TV screen in it, so you could watch our highlights and whatnot. And so yeah, it was kind of nice. It'll be back out there again this year.
Yeah, so for maybe some people tuning in that maybe don't really know much about the Mini Cup cars, what are they?
A Super Cup car is basically a half-scale late model. A lot of guys call it a go-kart on steroids, but it's pretty much exactly that. It's a full containment car. You've got a full chassis, just like a late model, just like a NASCAR would. They run on single-cylinder 4-stroke engines and are capable of speeds, up 75 mile an hour. So it just depends on, track conditions and where you're racing and track size and all that. But it's a lot of fun. The kids have fun with it. The adults that are racing have fun with it. Thomas, he had some fun with it.
See, I feel like there's a story there that we got to explore.
Well, TC Thomas, last season in the Corporal Christian Smith race, which is named after his son, second heat, decided to go out and he got tapped a little bit on the left rear, but just enough to send him sideways and barrel rolling. And we're happy he came out pretty much unscathed and a little shook up, but he was happy. And yeah, it was interesting. I think that's the worst one I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, especially at Grundy. I mean, we've seen him.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter rode the wall for her first race out there. I know you remember that one, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never witnessed one barrel roll until last season. So
yeah, barrel rolling uphill too.
Yeah, and barrel rolling uphill too towards the outside wall. Yeah. Yep. Which, in a way, it was a good thing because it brought on more safety for us.
Mm-hmm.
We now require these drivers to have full containment seats. They got to have a window net on the right side of the car now so their arm doesn't fly out. There was a few things in some amazing Good Acre photography that we caught that was able to, put us in a different position to keep these people, these drivers even safer than they were before.
Yeah, you hate to be the reason for the safety notice, but I'm glad TC came out to implement some of that stuff.
Right, exactly. You don't ever want to be that guy, but thank God, we were able to come out with some better ideas on how to keep these drivers safe and keep this sport growing for years to come because, let's face it, if you ain't got participation, you ain't got a series, you don't have a racetrack, everything falls off the wayside. And that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to grow. We're trying to expand. We're trying to get new tracks, new people, and new faces. And as long as we can keep pushing forward the way we have been, I don't see it being a problem.
Yeah, especially when you're really looking to get the younger kids involved. Their parents. Obviously, safety is going to be of a big concern.
Yes, absolutely. The safer I can keep their kids, the better I sleep at night, and the better their kids. They have the ability to grow and get faster and do better things. Grow. Just like Connor. Connor's he's in a mid-am now. He spent quite a few years in a Super Cup. I love seeing him in a mid-am, be honest with you, because he can drive. He's doing a great job in that car.
Mm-hmm.
And, the experience he gained from the Super Cup is, I think, what put him there. So, as far as kids go, if you're coming out of a go-kart, this is the next best thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it's a kind of a good step to, get your feet wet in the stock car world for sure. Definitely wish I had something like that would have been available to me when I came out of go-karts. Definitely would have been a great stepping stone. So, you talk about this is a stepping stone, a good place, the driver can start their career, or maybe go to, maybe some of the veteran drivers can go to have fun. What is your initial cost to get a car? Your maintenance costs, what are you looking at if you wanted to get into the mini cups?
Well, you can find a decent used car, pretty much anywhere in the United States for $3,500 to $6,500. A new car is going to cost you $10,000 to $12,000, but it's still a minimal investment when you think of, what a mid-am cost or what a street stock would cost you to put together, or a late model. Just starting out, this is a great way to just get started, and it's affordable. As far as maintenance. We change the oil every couple of races, make sure your nuts and bolts are tight, and away it goes. It's not very time consuming for the parent or whoever's going to work on the car for their child. It's not very time consuming weekly. I mean, if you do it right and you do it, on a regular schedule, it's a couple hours a week. And I spend more time than that traveling to baseball games and soccer games. So,
yeah, Jeremy, I can't help but feel like you're taking notes here.
Well, I am a little bit. I'm under strict instruction.
Well, he's taking notes because he's looking at getting one of these. We're going to get him in one. Watch. He just said he only got time during intermission to watch us. So, he can jump in the car and run for 20 laps, get out and do what he has to do.
I mean, I could. So, we're working on it. As far as like tires, what does tires cost? How do tires last? Because tires are a big expense.
Like everybody else, Hoosiers, raise their rates. The, product is hard to find. It's hard to get. Right now, a set of Hoosiers are running about $500 for these cars, slightly more, but with tax and shipping or whatnot, depending on where you're getting them from. But you're going to get a season, at least 2 seasons out of a set of tires normally before you're burning them up. I get 2 seasons out of an engine before I refreshen it, and to refresh a motor, as long as you don't tear it up and put a hole in the block like Ashland did last year, they're pretty cheap to recondition and get back. You're talking a couple of $100 versus a couple thousand for a bigger car.
Mm-hmm.
Bearings, we maintain them. We clean them out with brake cleaner and just throw a little spray lube in them, and away you go. So I mean, the maintenance end of it is not that much as far as price or time, for that matter. I mean, it's very cost effective to get your kid into one of these race cars, and they have a lot of fun doing it. I mean, I love going to the races and seeing a kid smile when he takes that checkered flag. I know Chris gets a kick out of it when he's down there taking pictures. It's big for them kids when they get that checkered flag. It means a lot, and I look forward to seeing more of that this year, and hopefully it won't be the same, Landon Hocking every, for 7 races, but I can't hate on him either. He did a fantastic job last season.
Yeah, he did.
The kid drove the wheels off that car every race. And,
coming down, him and Sinertia coming down to the championship, I think that might have been the tightest race out of all the divisions.
Right. I mean, what do we have? 8 points between first and second?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, them kids busted their tails all season long, and it showed. And they had a lot of fun doing it, and that's what matters most. I'd rather see them out there having fun than sitting in front of a video game or, whatever they do these days. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch these kids grow.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, the kids out there having fun, because I think a lot of us adults that are involved in motorsports forget that it's supposed to be fun.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I care more about the kids than I do the adults, honestly. I love having the adults out there. They have a fun time. That's all great. But they know how to maintain their own stuff. They know how to do their own thing. They can even drive to the track. Where these kids, they depend on mom and dad, or grandma and grandpa. And, what gets me is I love seeing these kids working on their own stuff. Put a wrench in a kid's hand and they'll never forget it. And unfortunately it's not done enough these days because we got the video games and the cell phones and so nobody takes the time out. Johnny's in the bedroom playing on the video game. We'll just leave him alone. No, drag him out to the shop, make him do something. Teach him a skill, a life lesson. There's a lot of things that can be taught in racing besides how to steer the car and how to put your gas pedal down.
Right.
So, that's what it's about for me. It's about, getting the next generation educated, more or less,
Yeah, absolutely. We talked a little bit about last season, your inaugural season. Obviously, Landon and Sinertia kind of dominating just a little bit, but just kind of do a quick recap of the 2021 season, kind of from your seat.
2021 was a great season. It was hectic at times. It was stressful at times. Did a lot of video watching the first part of the season. But you can't. It was expected. First season out. I've never done this before. I didn't own a series. It was just a whim that we could do this, and with help of Grundy County Speedway and Steve Bechtel and Chris and Joe and Carrie and all the staff over there, we made it a success. We did what we had to do and push through the limits, and sometimes we were doing it at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And, you can look up my Facebook account. I'm always posted at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. But, we did what we had to do to make it a success. As far as the drivers, we had phenomenal drivers last year. It was amazing. Cy Salinas, it learned so much from his first race to his last race. He got so much better over the season. JoJo Fadke, another one. She got better as the season progressed.
Yep.
And then you got Sinertia and Landon Hocking. They went at it each time. Every time it seemed like they were going at it pretty heavy. And then last year my daughter didn't drive for me, but I had Alex Ertman in the car for me. And Alex did a fantastic job. I mean, he was the one that was had the closest finish at the at the end of the race there between him and Landon. They were battling it door for a few laps, and finished off 200-300s from each other. So, overall the season was a great success. The speedway was fantastic and took very good care of us. And I look forward to doing it again. I think with the growth that we've had in the off season, and everything that we're doing on the backside right now, I think 2022 is going to be a record year for the Super Cups, especially from the Midwest Series.
Yeah, well, we talk about the 2022 season. Let's preview it just a little bit. Obviously, I think you said 26 races or 24 races on
26 races total for this season. 11 races at Grundy County Speedway. We've got 10 races on the Midwest Super Cup Series Great Lakes side. And then we've got 5 Wednesday night races at the Berlin Speedway in Michigan. So the Wednesday night races is the Midwest Super Cup Series shootout. So it's 5 races for one title, and crown the champion after the 5. As far as the Grundy County side, we're going to do a champion on the Grundy County side. We're also going to do a champion on the Great Lakes side, and then we're going to tie the two together. And this is where we get the participation and the car count on both ends. We're going to take the Grundy County points and the Great Lakes points, and we're going to add them together for an overall championship for the Midwest Super Cup Series.
Nice.
So you got, this year you've got 4 chances to be a champion, whether you race the Wednesday night races or you race Grundy or you race on the Great Lakes side. You've got an opportunity there to be crowned champion for 2022.
It's a lot of racing, and as we talked about kind of off air, you guys still looking to add more?
I am looking to add more. I'm in talks still with a couple other racetracks. We're looking at Springport in Michigan. And like I told you off air, I've talked to Tony Eldridge from South Bend and Plymouth. He had a date for me, but I couldn't make it work. So hopefully we'll, be able to make something work here in the next couple of weeks or month, and he'll have an opening that he can slide us in, and we'll go put on a show, and the fans will love it. I mean, I expect an average of 13 to 15 cars this year per, just average. I know a couple of our drivers that are just starting out, like the rookies and such. They're not going to travel from one side to the other. They just want to get their feet wet first, and I get that. So we're going to have quite a few that do travel, and it's going to be an exciting show wherever we go. We got one race and it's at Mottville Speedway. Chris, you ever been to Mottville?
It's on my bucket list, but I have not actually made it out there yet. I know about most of the people. I think I know at South Bend have raced there or currently race there. So it's on the list of things I need to accomplish as soon as I get an open weekend.
You need to get on my schedule and figure out when. I think I'll be there July 23rd, I think that's the day. Get it on your calendar and come visit and watch the Super Cup take on Mottville's racetrack there, because I hear it's an exciting one.
And
I've heard some stories.
Confirmed. That is July 23rd, so that is confirmed.
And then as far as the start of the season, we open up our season opener at Grundy County on May 6th, and then on May 20th we're doing the Corporal Christian Smith Memorial Race again. It'll be the second year in a row for that race. I don't know what the purse is going to be yet. We're still trying to get all that dialed up, but it's probably going to be another good one. Last year we paid out a little over $5,000 for that race alone. Wow. So it's going to be exciting, and we're looking forward to it. And the Christian Smith race is a huge thing for me. Thomas TC, he's a good friend, and we need to pay respects to his son, and we're going to do it every year that we can. So Christian, I've heard lots of stories about Christian, and all of them make you laugh. I don't care what the story is. It's always a good one. And Thomas knows how to tell them, and it's just good to be able to share that with everybody, and the fans in the stands and our racers, and give back a little bit for what he sacrificed for us. So that's we're excited about it again. Obviously we're doing the twins again this year at Grundy. We are out there for fan appreciation night towards the end of the year. Double points night, Illini stock car night. So it's going to be a good season. We're on the calendar for a lot of great races at Grundy. The fans over there, they're real supportive of us, and we have a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it again. We got the booth again this year, Chris, so you'll see me.
All right.
You know, I bounce around that place like like I'm on jumping or something.
You've seen me bounce around there.
Yeah, I know. You're just like me. We're fast. We get through there. And then as far as this year, the sponsorship's kind of off a little bit from what we were last year. To be expected with, the economy and the inflation and gas prices, and, nobody can afford to do anything right now. So, the sponsorship is down a little bit, but we still have, quite a few awesome sponsors on our plate this year. Darcy's is coming back. We've got Cyclone Graphics, Superior Image Creations. We've got a new one this year for us is RCK Law Firm out of Joliet. They came on board to help us out and help the kids out. We've got Pontiac Recycling down in Pontiac, Illinois. Jerry's Glass and Lock over there in Morris. He's a hometown favorite. If you ever need glass or key cut, go see Dwayne over there. And then last, we got the Old 66 Family Restaurant down in Dwight, which is also a new sponsor for us this year. And they have some great food down there. So if you're ever passing through Dwight, stop and get yourself a meal.
See, Chris, I don't even have to prompt the guests. I don't have to tee nothing up. I just let them do their thing, and they just knock it out of the park every time, which is great. Aside from the sponsors, which that makes everything in motorsports go around.
Literally,
quite literally. It does. Obviously, the people make it go around as well, and I'm sure you got a lot of great people involved in the series helping you out as well.
This year is we're stepping it up a little bit. Scott Poole. He's coming back as our tech director again this year, which is amazing. I'm thankful for that. He is an excellent guy for that spot. We're still on the hunt for a race director for this year. Don't know what we're going to do there yet. Got some ideas, just haven't pinpointed it down. I figure I got about another 3 weeks to decide. And then
no pressure, right?
No pressure. And then,
like a real racer.
Yeah. And then the guys that helped me, when I was putting this all together, they're still around the corner. They're not active, but if I need them for something, they're there for me to lean on them and get the information I need to proceed with what we're trying to do. So all told, we do have a good group of guys behind us. We've got a good group of tracks behind us. We got the M40, we got New Paris, Angola, Mottville. We've got the Grattan Road Course. We've got Gingerman and South Haven. We've got Black Hawk Farms, Grundy County Speedway. I mean, the list goes on and on. And without those people that run those facilities, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So, we are excited. It's going to be a great, great season. We look forward to lots of close racing, lots of tight racing. We like to say we're the only Super Cup series in the area that will let you trade paint. So, we want to grow racers, and we want to have people that want to race and race hard. So that's what they do. And we love every minute of it. So hopefully, it'll be a good season. Everybody will be happy. We'll put on a good show for the fans. I know the daughter's car is going to turn some heads this year. Chris, I'll send you a picture when we're done.
All right.
I haven't went live with it yet, so nobody knows it's coming. But when I get it back from Cyclone, you're going to know. It's like Billy Jr. at Cyclone Graphics has been instrumental in getting us our, contingency stuff, all our contingency stickers and stuff. And this is the first time ever that I'm doing a wrap on a vehicle. So it's something new for me. I like to paint them and make them sparkle. But we're trying something different this year to get the kids involved and get the fans involved. So, Chris, when you see it, you have to tell me what you think.
I can't wait.
I know how Chris likes car design, so I'm sure he's all amped up and ready to see it.
I know how much you like wrapping them.
I'm
not. Like I said, I'm a paint guy. I like to paint them. I like glitter and flake and pearls, and this is a first for me. So we'll see. And then I was out last week sometime. I met Connor's dad, to pick up some body panels from him that he had for me, and was talking to him. Connor, you better get that car on that track this year. We need to see you back out there in that little Super Cup, man. There's a lot of people that want to see you back in that Super Cup car for even if it's for a race.
I think the gauntlet has been laid down. We'll see if he answers the challenge here in a little bit. But Eric, before we let you go, for everybody out there, if there's somebody that wants to get involved, wants to contact you, more information beyond what you've provided here, how can they get a hold of you or the series information in general?
All they got to do is go to the website, MidwestSuperCupSeries.com. All my contact information is on there. Our schedule's on there. We try to keep up to date with it as much as we can and add anything new that's going on or, any of that. So, yeah, that would be the best place, to get all the information for Super Cups in this area. And if there's anything further, just drop me a line. Send me an email, send me a message. Call my phone. It's on 24 hours a day, and I'm usually up 23, so it's okay.
Oh, awesome. Eric, thanks for volunteering as tribute to be subject to this torture. And we definitely look forward to seeing you at the track this year, man.
I appreciate it. Maybe we'll do this again here in the near future.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Chris. Have a good night, guys.
And transferring from the Mini Cups, now a graduate driver of the Mini Cup series, Connor Kosowski. He's been patiently waiting, probably doing schoolwork, I'm guessing.
A little bit.
That's important, I hear, but
just a little bit, yeah.
A few years removed for it myself. But Connor, welcome into the show, man.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for patiently waiting.
Yeah, no big deal.
Figured it'd be good to have you on here. I think we'll kind of talked to you a little bit last year about possibly doing some stuff here with us, and thought this was a good opportunity to bring you in. Obviously, the Mid-Am Rookie of the Year last year. I think 5th in points last year, if I read that right.
That's correct.
So definitely a good year on track for you last year. But as we mentioned, graduate of the Super Cup Series. So kind of take me all the way back, man. How did you get involved in racing?
Yeah, so I think it was 2013. So we have a fishing house in Braidwood, and our neighbor was like, "Hey, do you guys want to go to the races with us?" And we're like, "Where's there a racetrack around here?" That's before I even knew about Grundy, but before I knew about any of that. He's like, "If you guys drive, I'll buy beers for my dad." Obviously, I was too little. So we went along, and I saw the little mini cups out there, and I'm like, kind of nudging my dad along. I'm like, "Hey, we could do this." And he's like, "No, let's just wait till you're in college and before we can figure something out." And those couple of summers I was doing just any types of odds and ends jobs I could do to make some money and just kind of show my dad and my family I was serious about this. And it wasn't long later before my dad and I kind of went to go look at cars, and Steve Naples actually and his fiance Pat Grimo were a huge help in helping us find a car and get ready. So they kind of nudged us along as well. And the rest is history. Then we had a blast. In 2017 was our rookie year, and 2019 we won our championship with 10 feature wins that year. So, yeah, we made the most of it.
Yeah, I'd say so. So, your first experience actually racing was into mini cups then.
That is correct. Yeah, no prior experience, and that's even in 2015, 2016. I don't think I really knew much about cars at all. My dad was always wrenching on cars when he was in high school, but two of us combined, we really knew nothing about the racing end of it. It's a whole different world from street cars to race cars. So we knew nothing about it. And that being said, we were welcomed into the Mini Cup Series now. And even with the Midwest Super Cup Series now, it's a nice community to be in with those guys. A lot of those guys were with us in CSR, and they're very welcoming and helpful. So you won't be lost along the way because we knew nothing and we found our way and we still made the most of it.
Yeah, kind of talk about that process of finding your way, because I've been there, before when I got involved, we didn't really know much about anything. And, so we're finding books and magazine articles and just trying to tap any avenue you can find for information, right?
Yeah, so there was a lot of guys. Steve Naples, again, was another one. And Jamie Domsky, who was a Mini Cup competitor, too, once upon a time. The Muchas, who they don't race in the Mini Cup division anymore. But there was and even the Heddins too, when they showed up too, they were a huge help at the track. That was kind of the extent of those people I knew at the time. But we had a lot of help along the way. And for a while, we didn't make any changes to the car, only when something went wrong. My dad and I just left it. We didn't touch it because we were afraid to. And then it's funny because even in 2019, I think those tires I was running are about, like Eric said, they're about season and a half, maybe 2 seasons old, and they work. The older those tires get, the better they are. So you just kind of figure out little things like that, what works and what doesn't. Um, and you don't want to change it too much because you see people wrenching back a lot on those cars, and sometimes you have something really, really close, and then you take it another step too far, and then you're way off with those cars. With those cars, if you're off, you're way off. I mean, and if you're close, then you're probably in that ballpark. But if you start going too far, you're going to be really far off.
The old give the racer
Yeah.
an opportunity to dial themselves out of the
Yep.
racetrack.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, been there several times.
Yeah, me too.
So what was that process like? You get involved, from, behind the wheel for the first time, just kind of trying to feel it all out and kind of figuring out, kind of what you had to do.
I'm not even gonna lie. The first time I got out there for practice, I came home and I was terrified. I'm like, should I even keep doing this? Like, it takes a lot of nerve. I mean, even when I was racing Legends last year and or 2 years ago, and I hopped back into the mini cup, it took me a while to get wound up to get my foot down all the way going around Grundy, because you get wound up pretty good at Grundy, and some of those bumps around Grundy too. It's unnerving, for sure. So even like all those kids and all those adults, you see a lot of people don't give them credit because it's just a mini cup, but it's a lot. They're a handful to drive too. So yeah, the first time I went out there, I was terrified, and then along the way, it was a gradual process with building the confidence, and I'd say I'm pretty conservative out there, even now with the mid-am too. So I mean, I've always been try to make my moves as carefully as I can and be smart about the decisions I make out there. So
You might be the only person in the mid-am division that does that.
Oh, I made too many mistakes out there still this year, but yeah, I try to be as careful as I can be and not step on too many toes. I try to be methodical about it, and that's how I kind of went about it with the mini cup too. As I started getting faster and faster with it, like I didn't want to put myself in a position where I can take myself out at lap 4. Like I knew I could catch these guys, and I knew it from practice. I knew it from qualifying. I knew I had the car to do it because of the help from me, or help from my dad and me working on the car all week. I mean, I knew what we had, and it was just being patient and making the right decisions.
Absolutely. And those
Yeah.
lessons that you learn at that level, that transfers to everything. We just
Mhm.
talked
Oh, yeah.
about it, right? So you made the move, did some Legends stuff. What did you think about going to the Legends cars from the Super Cups?
Yeah, that was a hectic year with COVID too. We were trying to find time to race, and me and my dad's schedules were really busy at the time, so we were unsure what we could do. And it wasn't until we found out how expensive that was too, even with something that's small, before we started looking into the mid-am, and we're like, hey, like we can be racing at Grundy maybe for something similar to what we're doing now. So that's how we kind of set that path too. But the Legends they're a lot of fun too. Compared to the mini cups, they're twitchy just like a mini cup. So I was used to that aspect of it, but you have that really high horsepower to weight ratio too. Same with the mid-am. So that was a big adjustment going from the mini cup with something with 20 horsepower to 150 horsepower, and now you're pushing 500 horsepower in the mid-am. So
Mhm.
just keep making big leaps with it.
Yeah, it's certainly, definitely. And you made quite the leap last year, rookie season, in the Mid-Am series. I kind of talked a little bit about how you guys made the determination to jump up to that series, but talk a little bit more about that and just your transition into that kind of car.
Yeah, so a huge shout out to Matt Clemens actually because of that. We were kind of lost along the way. We're like, well, we don't have the help to do this. We don't know enough to do this, and Matt kind of offered like, hey, like let's figure something out, and we figured something out for the season, and he was a tremendous help, him and his family. So that's who was always wrenching on the car with us at the track was Matt Clemens, and he raced himself this year too. So he had a lot on his plate, and he did a lot for us. And same with my dad too. I can't do it without my dad. I mean, I love my family too, but the rest of my family to pieces. But yeah, my dad there, yeah, I need him there for sure.
Yeah, so a successful year, like we talked about, Mid-Am Rookie of the Year, 5th in points out there. Kind of give us a summary of your season, man. How'd things go out there for you last year?
Yeah, so we started off pretty okay. I was happy with how I was doing initially. And there were some of those like suspensions with some drivers missing races here and there. So I slowly kind of worked up, and then I think July might have been. Yeah, my motor, it was just no good after a while. So we found out at the end of the year the camshaft, the lobes on the cam were just flat. So we were fighting that for God knows how long. It wasn't until it was really, really loud knocking in the motor before we pulled it. So then we swapped motors, kind of went back to the drawing board. And then a couple weeks later, we started really figuring it out. Like, I think it was the end of July, we started qualifying in the fast heats. And the crappy part about how I did this year, we would get something really, really good, and then I get us into some kind of disaster or something go terribly wrong, and then we kind of have to go backwards, and then we were fighting back up that hill. It was like a back uphill battle again. So it was kind of like that all year. We were kind of just hanging in there, staying relevant. We were always in the picture, I felt like. And then towards the very, very end, I felt like we kind of came in strong after fighting weeks of brake issues. I'm not sure. I think Chris got some good photos. You can see some of those photos. The rear brakes were on fire and a couple of them, so that looked real good. And yes, we were dealing with that for a while. But then the very last race of the year, we ended on a really high note. We were, I think, fourth in that heat race the very last year, and then I was kind of thinking, like, because we were sitting sixth in points at the time, I'm like, well, what do I need to do to finish fifth? And I needed seventh, and I finished seventh in that race. So I was extremely happy with how we ended and the progress we made along the way, and then the help that we received along the way, and the people we met along the way, the memories we made along the way. So yeah, it was definitely a process, but we figured it out more or less, I think, and then hopefully we got something more coming into this season and coming into practice in a few weeks. We're just about ready to go, I'd say.
Yeah. So, you looked at, last season was your rookie year, and there's always growing pains. You kind of talked about them a little bit. What do you think was your biggest challenge last year?
Biggest challenge, I think, was being in that big car compared to the little car. I mean, people were saying that you're going to have to get used to that sensation of speed. It wasn't so much a sensation of speed. It was handling a big car compared to something so small and twitchy. You get used to how the car rotates around the corner with something so small, then you go into something bigger. And admittedly, I don't think I was fantastic at diagnosing to Matt and my dad and the rest of the team, like, hey, like, this is what's wrong. This is what we need. Towards the end, I feel like I maybe got a bit better, but I feel like that and diagnosing what I needed with that car was challenging, because when we were on with that setup, we were great. And other times when we were off, it was a struggle the whole night, and it was frustrating. So yeah, getting used to that big car and the big car adjustments and handling a big car was probably the biggest thing, I'd say.
Yeah, and Mid-Am division, it's very competitive.
Oh yeah,
out there.
It's rough out there for sure.
Yeah, so kind of talk about that and getting used to that level of competition.
Yeah, again, I hope I didn't step on too many people's toes. I tried to be respectful where it could be. I know I caused some issues out there occasionally, but those guys race you a heck of a lot harder than most other divisions do. I feel like, I mean, compared to the Legend and the Mini Cups, you're not always leaning on somebody else for making passes or going around the track. So you have to be a little bit more assertive with the Mid-Am, and if you have to use the bumper, you got to use the bumper. Sometimes you're going to run up the track a little bit, make some contact, and like, I always try to kind of stay off of people and away from people as much as I can and make them as clean as I can. But there, it's kind of like, you got to make your moves smart, but you can't be afraid to use your car up a little bit.
Yeah, so you talked a little bit, just a couple weeks here. We're going to be firing things up with practice and talk about your 2022, man. What are your goals for the year? What are your expectations? And I guess this is the opportunity for you to call your shot, man.
Well, yeah, obviously that future win still, that's a huge goal. If I can accomplish that, that'd be fantastic. And then, I had a couple heat wins last year, but obviously I'd like to win in one of the fast heats as well. I'd like to keep qualifying into the fast heats because at the start of the year I was terrible in qualifying, because again, that was the first experience I really had with putting a qualifying setup in a car and having to deal with that and driving that car so much differently compared to the race setup, because I never really had to experience that with the Legends or with the Mini Cup. It was a turn here or a turn there, or maybe a pound of air pressure difference here or there, and that was it. And you drove the car pretty much the same way you did in the race. But yeah, with the Mid-Am, it was a whole different story. So if I could keep qualifying in those fast heats, if I could win a fast heat, that'd be awesome, and winning that feature would be awesome. And then just being in the picture, just being in that hunt always. I like being in the hunt. It was always really, really big confidence boost to me when I kind of saw like how close I was to some of those veteran drivers up there. And like, I'm right there with them, and I know I can get to them, or just kind of just being relevant, with in the pack with the rest of those guys. Because I grew up watching a lot of those guys too. So it's like from 2014 to now, kind of being out there with some of these guys I remember growing up with, and even racing with Matt now too. Like, it's insane, and it's like a dream come true. But I want to obviously be out there winning those races too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
It's kind of hard when you're kind of in that position.
Yeah.
Want to ask you a question from our comments section. So,
Going to the phones.
a little bit here. So, just
Comments
a
anyway.
little backstory here. Listener Michelle Hall, 9-year-old daughter starting the Super Cups this year,
Heck
and
yeah.
wants to know what advice you could give her as a former driver.
You know what? Just have fun with it. I think with everything I do, I'm very hard on myself. I'm very much in my own head. Just go out there, have some fun. Don't be afraid of anything. Um, don't be afraid to spin out. Don't be afraid to hit the wall. Don't be afraid of any of that. Just go out there and give it everything you got. Because it's a process, but you'll learn and you'll meet people along the way that are going to help you. So just go out there, have fun, make the most of it, and try not to be in your head too much. You'll be just fine.
Awesome advice. And so before we let Eric go, he kind of issued a little bit of a challenge to you to get that car out, get that car ready, and he private chatted over here, and he's calling you, man. He's calling you. What do you got? What do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I'm in my basement right now, and the Mini Cup motor is like literally 10 feet behind me right now. It's sitting down here. It's been down here for a season and a half, and then the car's in the garage. It's more or less probably ready to go. I don't have new tires for it, but I think I can manage with the old tires I have. Hopefully, it's more fun to drive those things anyways when they're kind of skating around the track. It's more fun when they're a handful anyways. Um, yeah, I think I need to try. I was thinking about it last year, and we were so busy with the mid-am, and I was kind of thinking like, hey, if I have a bad night with the Mini Cup, I don't want that to influence how I do with the mid-am. But maybe now, that I'm going into my second year, I know a bit more. Maybe I can kind of make that transition and have a busier night with the Mini Cup and try to pull a double duty. Um, it's something I've been thinking about. I really like running Grundy with the Mini Cup. I think I can't quite feel the bump in turn one the same way with the mid-am, but if you hit that bump just right with the Mini Cup, it sends you through 1 and 2 pretty wildly. But yeah, it's a fun place to run the Mini Cup, so I think I'm gonna have to give it a shot. If not, I need to come out at least and try to run a road course or something different. I mean, he's doing a great thing with the series by running the road courses as well. I raced Blackhawk in 2019, and I think I lapped the whole field at Blackhawk except for one car, so that was pretty cool that we had the car dialed in there. So the road courses with those things are pretty fun too. So I think I need to get back out there. Yeah, I'll make it happen.
All right, Eric, you heard it. He was hanging on just to hear what we'd say. So I think we reeled another one in.
Yeah.
Well, Connor, before we let you go, like to give all of our drivers that come on opportunity. Obviously, sponsors and people, just partners in general, is what makes this entire sport go around.
Oh, for sure.
So I want to give you the opportunity to recognize the folks that help you.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you to you guys for having me on. That's awesome. Then I got to thank Matt Clemens and again my dad and the rest of my family who've been such a huge help for me the last season, especially with this new transition with the mid-am. And then I got to thank European Chalet, Kohler Chiropractic, Connecticut West Competition Parts, Discount Tire, Kildare Haunted City, Canova's Pizzeria, East Hunting Salon, Bill's Speed Shop, and Twisted Graphics. A lot of those guys have been with me since the Mini Cup days, so I really appreciate their support as well, and they make this opportunity and this racing season possible as well.
Awesome. Well, Connor, thanks for coming on. We definitely look forward to seeing you at the track this year, both mid-am and maybe the Super Cup series.
I'm going to try.
Yeah, we'll definitely be watching, man. And again, thanks for coming on, taking some time out.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. We'll see you at the track, man.
Yeah, see you guys. Have a good one.
Right. That was Connor Kosowski, your Rookie of the Year in the Grundy County Speedway Mid-American Division last year, 5th place finisher in points, graduate of the Super Cup Series. Chris, good night of guests here, man.
Yeah. Well, we always say we love when people volunteer because that's half the work's done for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes our lives easier and hopefully makes things easier on you out there. You don't have to listen to me ramble on the entire time, which is always great and always much appreciated for myself. Chris, I saw a little bit before I got on here your massive schedule that you've got coming up this year.
Yeah.
That means you're going to be taking a lot of pictures.
Yeah, several.
So when you take those pictures, where can people find them at?
Oh, well, eventually I will have them up at goodacrephotography.com. And the way it's been working is goodacrephotography.com/the track that you are at. So South Bend, Shady Hill, Grundy. Hopefully going to get out to Plymouth a couple times this year and see what all they got going on out there. But now I'm thinking about how much work I gotta do.
There's a lot coming up,
I think
man.
just my portion of the schedule, just the places that I will be at, I think there's about 60 between April and beginning of April and into September.
It's a lot of stuff going
Yeah.
on, and we're rapidly approaching the time when that's coming up here. We got one more virtual event
Yep.
for the Grundy County Speedway this Friday night. You guys have fun with that. I will not be there in attendance this week. So
Yeah, something about a scheduling conflict or
yes, correct. I have scheduling conflict Friday evening, and I will not be broadcasting or competing. But it'll be awesome. If anybody out there wants to catch the iRacing event, we'll have it posted probably in the Driving DJ Network or Driving DJ Network 2. Grundy County Speedway will probably share the page once all that stuff is up Friday evening, in case you're interested in wanting to watch that. But yeah, a couple weeks away from practice. Hopefully everybody's got their cars ready. Let's see. Let's look at the peanut gallery here.
dear.
Let's see. Mr. Warhead wants to know if you're getting chug points. You're not with the water cup tonight. But what are we drinking over here, Stan?
That is a so this way, Sprecker's Cherry Cola.
Oh, look at that go.
They're just not giving me enough money to advertise for them.
That's true, and he says you need to turn a label. So
you know how it works. If you pay me, I'll advertise for you.
And
as long as I'm paying for this.
Yep. So our buddy Steve chiming in needs some virtual drivers for Friday night.
So if you're not doing anything and you're on iRacing, and this goes for all of you South Bend people, I know Zolaz is already signed up.
Yeah, we're doing
he needs a car painted. It's probably going to be my post-show activity tonight is work on that car.
Yep, it is a street stock enduro event Friday night. I believe the virtual Concord Speedway. So that'd be pretty interesting. So yeah, go check that out. If you guys are, I assume probably if you're in the virtual world, you're probably on the Grundy County Speedway iRacing page. Pretty sure they probably have stuff posted to the regular Grundy County Speedway Facebook page about this information as well.
If not, I think we know the guy that can do that.
We know the guy that can hook you up. So yeah, it's one way or another, getting in touch with Grundy, ourselves, whomever. If you're interested, we'll point you in the right direction. As far as this podcast, I'm glad we kind of worked through some of the technical issues. I found them on my end.
All right.
While we were talking with Eric, so that kind of worked out. So hope you guys enjoyed this live version. So we are doing audio versions this year. So we'll, post the audio versions to Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, working on getting the Google stuff sorted out, and possibly on Amazon as well. Just kind of wanted to get us out there. So everybody can hear it. I know some people can't be tied down to Facebook or YouTube for an hour, which is perfectly fine. Or you love hearing our voices so much that you want to catch the live show and listen to us on the go.
Are you saying we have faces for radio?
I didn't say it, but I mean, I think it's just a given at this point. That's why radio is in our name.
Ah, yes.
So let's see. The Junior Zolods wants you to drive in the Enduro.
Well,
so
I'm not saying no. I just got to see how all the production side stuff works out.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys will have to figure all that stuff out.
Although otherwise, the whole thing is going to be an in-car view from my car, so you'll get to see all the things happening way up in front where the people that know what they're doing are driving at.
Well, it guaranteed it would be entertaining. That's for sure.
Yeah, probably.
That being said, if you're watching this right now, that means you're on our Facebook or YouTube page. If you have not done so, please like, subscribe to those pages. You'll get notifications when we go live. If you click the little ding, the little bell button to get notifications, do so there. We're also on Instagram. I'm terrible about posting on Instagram, but
yeah, me too.
One of these days, maybe we'll actually be on there. It's the social media stuff. It's kind of a,
Wait, isn't that what we do? We should probably get better at that.
Well, it's you do a multiple platforms, so you got to do on one, you got to do on the other. I'm not good at the apps that kind of integrate everything into one. So we're getting there. We're working on it. Like I said, back to the audio stuff. So again, I'll reiterate that: Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, working on some others. Links, we'll post them on our Facebook page. So please like, subscribe to that. Anything else before we sign off for the evening, Mr. Goodacre?
I can't think of anything, and even if I did, that's what haven't we covered yet?
I'm not sure, man. So like I said, we're back on the every 2 weeks, I guess a bi-monthly schedule, I guess is what that would be.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. So every 2 weeks.
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
So we will be back in 2 weeks. So make sure you do keep on our Facebook pages about potential new guests. And hey, if you want to be a guest on the show, all you got to do is reach out to Chris or myself. Bob Schwartz, our buddy Bob.
You don't get a choice. You're going to be on here at some point.
Yeah, we'll coerce him on here. He wants some dirt stuff, so we'll have to get dirty there this year. We'll bring him on, maybe maybe bother him at Shady Hill one of these times.
There you go.
This season, and we'll go from there, bud. All right. So again, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Make sure you kind of scroll and skim our Facebook pages for all the latest news and information from the Illiana Stock Car Radio podcast. And until then, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.